Hey, it's Katelyn. I have to apologize in advance because my dog is barking at the postman. So if you hear him in the background, I'm sorry. Um, but I do like these pictures a lot. I think you were shooting it at sea. He's so obnoxious. He gets all excited when you can't control him. So if he barks a lot, I'll record it. I'll re-record it. But so these images are great, and I think you're shooting at a really perfect time of the day, really low light, really glowy light. So let's go and let's look at a few of them and just talk about what I would do differently if I were to do anything differently. So for some, I've noticed in some of your shots you're shooting far away and then cropping in really tight. Um, so the distance that you're shooting from subjects changes what your images look like. So if you actually shot this close to them, and didn't have to, and weren't shooting that far away, you would have a creamier background because the closer you get to a subject, the more shallow the depth of field is behind them, or how close you are to your subject directly affects how much bokeh you have. And so if you shoot in close to them from the very beginning, you're going to notice a really big change in your images. Also, when you crop in this much, you start to lose some of the resolution of your images. So when you export out of Lightroom, and you say that you're losing image quality, it may be because you're cropping into your images really, really tight. Like this image right here is, I would leave it vertical, and the most I would crop it would be this much. I mean, because if you crop any further than this, you're going to start to lose some image quality. So it's a great vertical image. If you wanted a horizontal shot, I would try to shoot as much in camera, crop in camera as much as possible. And it limits your post-processing time too. So let's look at this. And I'm going to start with this image and just show you what I would do. So there's a blue tint to it, so I'm going to adjust the highlights just a little bit and make them a little bit warmer, just a little bit. And I'm also going to adjust the shadows at the same amount. Oh, there we go. Just warming it up a little bit. I'm going to take the highlights down because of their shirts. Their shirts are a little bit overexposed, and that's okay. And let's see if we can, I think overall we can bring the exposure down just a little bit. Let's see what we can do. And obviously this isn't raw, so I'm not getting the same effect that you would if you're shooting raw. You'd have a lot, of more flexibility in the image. So I'm actually going to up this a little bit more because it's actually a lot of blue in the image. I just want to warm it up so it doesn't look too blue. So I will crop it in because I do like how you cropped it in, but I'd say in the future, if you can shoot it in camera cropped like this, you're going to see a really big difference. So the only thing that I really changed from what you edited is that I have a little bit more depth in the image, and I still kept it a portrait crop. So when you crop it like this, it's closer to a square, and it's not a standard portrait. It's not a standard crop. So I just kept it as a rectangle, for a standard print size. And but you're really close to what I would have done. So don't be hard on yourself. These look great. And I love this. Same thing with this though. If you think that you're losing image quality, it's because you're zooming in really close and cropping in really close. So you're losing half of your image resolution just because you're cropping in. So if you had shot this image right here and then exported it, I think you would have noticed a really big difference in the clarity. So same thing here. I think the editing is great. There's a little bit of a blue tone, so I'm just going to adjust that just a little, not much. That just makes it look a little bit warmer. Tone down the highlights a little bit. It's a beautiful picture. It really is. So, but if you export this, again, full resolution, but you cropped half the image off, then you're losing half the resolution. And I love this. I was going to say, before I saw her in the corner, I was going to say, this is my favorite one because the lighting here is perfect and the depth of field is really pretty. So if you could save it or Photoshop your cutie out of the corner, this would probably be my favorite image that you have. And the reason for that is the tree line is above their heads enough to have some depth and color there. and they're glowy, and it's just really beautiful. So you should be really proud of yourself. So yeah, overall, I think you did a great job. I would just really focus on shooting and cropping in camera, the way you would want to crop it later in post-processing, because that's where your image quality is diminishing. So I hope this is helpful, and I'm excited to talk to you next week. Have a great Christmas, and congrats on the house. And yeah, so send me some images next week that you need some help with, and these are great ones to start with this week. So have a great Christmas. I'll see you soon. Bye.